Hello, this is Sanad here, back with another episode of History of Megazords. Today, as promised, we'll be taking a look at the Samurai Gigazord and all its clusteriness and parts and stupid places. This is the combination of the Samurai Megazord, the Beetle Zord, the Swordfish Zord, the Tiger Zord, the Octozord, the Claw Zord, and the Bull Megazord. So, yeah. Why am I doing this in one video? Because really there's a lot to go over, considering this is just a combination of things. But since I have reviewed everything else on my channel, including Bull Megazord on History of Megazords, might as well do this for episode 2. So here we go. So you take the Lion Zord, fold the legs in, back, pull out the back connector piece, and fold the front legs to the side. You set up everything. You take the Dragon Zord, just basically turn it back into a leg, including removing the sword. Take the Bear Zord, put it into its leg mode. Very basic. Then take the Ape Zord, put it into arm mode. Take the Turtle Zord, put it into arm mode as well. Take the Beetle Zord, remove both its leg sets. I'm going to put one back in as if you're doing the Battle Wing combination. Take the Swordfish Zord, remove his tail, flip up his fins for a little added effect, and add that other set of beetle legs to him. Then take the Tiger Zord and completely dismantle him, because you need every other piece for a lot of things. Take the Octozord and dismantle him. You want to make sure that everything comes apart smoothly and that the whole thing stays out and that's in place. Take the Claw Zord. You want to remove the tail only on one side, just leave it on the other. Pop both legs out. Remove his arms, followed by removing his head and the back side of the Claw Zord. That side will turn into the head of the Gigazord, and you'll need to plug the two swords into there and fold them up, because added effects are cool. And pull the face down. Take the Bull Zord, take both arms off, pop them down, pull the legs up, pull the legs down, pop the discs off, pull the gun off, flip the panels down, and don't forget to remove the chest piece like me, because I'm a total idiot sometimes. I apologize. Then, start by reassembling the legs as if you were making the Claw Armor Megazord. Very simple concept here. Yes, that's one. The back fin will stay on there in some cases. Then attach the legs to the Lion Zord. Then take the top of the Claw Zord, put the helmet on with the new face, and hey look, it's the Claw Armor Megazord all over again. Same attachment to the Lion Zord. Then take the arms of the Bull Megazord and attach the tiger legs. I have them positioned the way I think they look best. There is no real official way of doing it. But I guess there's no. Then put the arms of the Bull Megazord onto the Claw Zord piece. Fairly difficult. Then take the Tiger Zord body, attach the Beetle Zord to one side. Make sure it's all straight. Put the Swordfish Zord on the other side. Make sure it's all good. Go to the back. Place the Swordfish tail. You're basically forming the Battle Wing again, but here's where the modifications lie. Put the head crest where the bird head would normally be. Then take the top part of the Octozord and plug it on to that little black nub. We'll then take the tiger head and plug it onto that piece of the Octozord. Take the Octozord chest piece, add the Bull Megazord chest piece. I want to take the framework that has been made from the Bull Megazord and attach the two Claw Zord arms to the sides where the pegs are. It's kind of simple. you want to then do something. Hey, there you go. You put the disc into the head of the Bull Megazord, put another disc onto the gun of the Bull Megazord, and don't plug it in, okay, fine. Take the rest of the Samurai Gigazord that you've formed so far, put the couple clips onto the sides of the Lion Zord to hold it in place. They don't go in easy. You can see this thing is really complicated. Put the gun, it pegs into the top part of the Clawzord, and then it pegs into the back and the center of the disc slot on the Bull Megazord's head. That is probably the most difficult part of this whole transformation. As you can see, I am struggling with it. Alright, now we'll go ahead and attach the Samurai Battle Wing Slight looking thing to the back of the Samurai Gigazord. As you notice, the Octo head will fall over. But nothing to be feared as I bump the camera. So, moving on, put the chest piece on, right there. Then, what doesn't quite get into frame very well is the fact that you have to get the Tigazord head to go between the crotch of the Bull Megazord and plug into those two pegs hanging down from the Lion Zord on the front half in the middle there. Probably should have done that earlier. Next step is going to be attaching the two awkward arms to the bottom where the wheels used to be for the Bull Megazord. I'm sorry for not being able to do this better, but this is what happens when you film things with an iPad. And when that is all done, all it's left to do is get it into camera frame and give him his sword. So, here we finally are at the combined Gigazord itself, and what a cluster expletive this is. Basically, they pretty much figured out how to put all of the pieces from all of the Zords, I mean every piece, nothing is left out, into a nice, I use that term lightly, shape. Yeah, this is even more of a mess on Samurai Hao from Samurai Sentai Shinkenger, the 33rd Super Sentai from 2009. I realized I had these claws positioned awkwardly. Need to go forward. But yeah, the only complaints I really can have, like, it's basically a slimmed down version of Samurai Hao. You can see here, this piece does not lock in place at all, so it just kind of flops around, which is annoying. I mean, you really have, like, pieces just sticking down here. Another complaint I would have is the way Bandai of America did the arms. Now, in Japan, there was a motorized gimmick, so when these were folded up into symbol mode, which I can't do in America, they would spin. Basically, this can be fan-moded into turning this into emblem mode, like that. Flip that around. And then taking this here and turning it into the monkey so it doesn't flop around, and now you don't have two big old arms. Basically, that's the transformation I'm going with. The placement of the drills, I put the leg-like ones in the back. It doesn't really give you any specific directions to how to do that. We do have some nice little details. I mean, it's pretty much anything we've seen already. There's no emerging details because of this combination. There rarely is, but you can basically see you got the chest piece, which has been flipped upside down from the Bull Megazord. The sword is the same as the Samurai Megazord. You got the two discs are incorporated nicely into the top, which is its final attack in the show. I mean, it does spin still, which is neat, I must admit. But overall, this thing is kind of a giant cluster of plastic. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Aside from the fact that I'm going to compare this to something. No, I'm not comparing it to Samurai Hao. I do not own all that. That's the main reason why I'm buying the Samurai Zords. But I will compare it to the other quote-unquote Ultra Zord that we've gotten recently. That being the RPM Ultra Zord here. Which you can see is still much taller than the Samurai Gigazord. Now I'm going to go free-handed camera here. So you can take a look here. You can see that the RPM Ultra Zord is taller. Samurai Gigazord is shorter. But overall, I think that the Samurai Gigazord looks a little bit better and a little bit cleaner than this. But I do have some complaints. It seems like when they were designing this in Japan, they pretty much had the Mogyudayo as an added feature, like an extra Zord they weren't planning on doing but decided to do anyways so they could sell a toy. Because none of the pegs go unused when making any of the other combinations. Every peg is used in some fashion, and Mogyudayo / Bull Megazord just makes more use of those pegs. With the when they were designing Kyuretsuo / the Paleomax Megazord, it seemed like they had an ultimate combination in mind due to the clips on the Lion Hauler / crap, what was his name? Busan. But anyways, this thing overall is gigantic. It is enormous compared to your normal something that I have lying around here. To make this as easy as possible, here is a 4-inch scaled Avengers figure. Which I heard these are all the rage nowadays. And here is a Ranger key. That's the comparison I'm going with. As you can see, this thing is gigantic. So overall, how can I recommend this Zord? Well, it's kind of tough. You are buying every Zord in the Samurai line to complete this aside from the Light Zord and the Shark Zord. Speaking of the Shark Zord, if you do have this little guy, he does have some functionality with the Samurai Gigazord. All you need to do is swap out the sword. And now you have some combination. I forgot if this was used in the show or not. I know they used it in Shinkenger, but there you go. I'm not going to count that as a separate formation and do a transformation montage for that, because that would just be silly. So anyways, basically, this is how price breakdowns work. You spend $30 on the Samurai Megazord. You spend $13 each for Beetle, Swordfish, Tiger, and Octo, if you all get them at retail, at normal retail. So that is 30 plus 13 is 33, plus another 13 is 46, plus another 13 is 59, plus another 13 is 64. Plus the Clawzord, which makes it 94, and the Bull Megazord, which makes it a grand total of $124 for this combination. Throw in the Shark Zord, that's another 13, so you're at $117. Now, can I recommend it for that price? If you like Samurai, if you like the Shinkenger designs, I can definitely recommend these, because really, $104 for the whole combination, retail, compared to the $104 you'll spend on just Shinkeno, it's a much better price. Now, they aren't fully accurate. You still don't have the shield from Shinkeno. You don't have the emblem modes, but overall, they're not bad. So, if you want a cheap alternative to the Shinkenger mecha, this is definitely something I can recommend. Now, we have finally gotten the ball rolling on History of Megazords. Let's see how many I can produce in a timely fashion. And stay tuned next time, where we'll be taking a look at... I don't know yet. We'll figure that out later. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this. If you would like to leave some feedback on this episode, leave your comments below, or you may find a handy thread at the Writers, Rangers, and Rambles Ramboards. And overall, this is recommended. Be sure to check out WritersRangersRambles.com for Toku news and more in the craziest way possible, including History of Megazords, the series you are watching now, which will be having bonus content only available on RRR. And also check out Toku of Theater, the show where we make fun of Japanese television in a tasteful manner. And until next time, saying goodbye.